So I made a little short yesterday. Right, made a little short, pretty much speaking about a lot of stuff that's going on right now. We in the year 2025. Um, numbers are significant, right? What I'm saying. The number nine symbolizes completion. Last year was the eight, the return of just cycles and shit, but they doing a lot right now, and a lot is going to start next year. They gonna start implementing a lot of stuff, but they implement or they project so much fear onto us in society. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of got into it on a little short video I seen. You could find it. It's like the last clip I did, but it's pretty much speaking on how these beings, you know what I'm saying, so-called elites, the low levels though, they now, a lot of people consider reptilians, these other beings also involved to be a part of that elite, right? They not all the same and they not all doing the same shit, you know what I'm saying? But these low levels, right? These Neanderthal beings, they were created out of this energy. You know what I'm saying? I explained on the short video, the little YouTube short, that the story that they tell about the Anunnaki isn't necessarily all. It's not accurate. Nothing they tell us is accurate. I think everybody realized that now at this point, right? I don't know if some of y'all consider, the government to be a part of that elite group, so-called elite group, the celebrities, Hollywood, this, that, or the other, right? They in all of these systems and industries, you know what I'm saying? But these bands were created out of that energy of fear. Then they say, the humans were created to be slaves. That's the story they tell the Anunnaki, right? That part ain't necessarily false. But of course, everything they tell us is going to be manipulation, right? They going to play it. They just going to wordplay, use their little trickology. Anything they project to y'all, you already know is going to be misrepresented. But, y'all story of the Anunnaki ain't really wrong either, necessarily, No being is like ultimately just evil by nature, just born from the devil. You know what I'm saying? Free will is a thing across. I'm like, that's a universal law, right? Some beings do have a certain nature about them, and they have their own storylines, though. You know what I'm saying? But them being created out of fear, right? In this, they don't react to fear the way that we do. They have their little smug looks on their face. They do a lot of devious stuff behind the scenes and stuff, but they work through that energy, That's why everything that they tell you to fear is stuff that they really fear. You know what I'm saying? Like global warming, for instance. I'm trying to bring it on a level to where people can understand. We know they don't like the sun. They're not natural to this planet, for real. You know what I'm saying? The original ones and these ones that keep like rejecting the re-engineering that is trying to, our bodies try to let happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I say Neanderthals. Some people consider white people be Neanderthals, right? I'm not about to do that white and black shit right now. You know what I'm saying? They not all the same. And what's going on right now, I'm like, you can't tell who anybody is by just race right now. It's a lot going on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Not about to exclude anybody because a lot of these beings have worked through a lot of stuff. I'm not about to get into all that, right? But these specific beings, the original, you know what I'm saying? MFers. You know, they not natural to this planet, so the whole the whole global warming shit and all that, we know they don't like the sun. They've been trying to block it out. They've been putting fake suns in the sky. They try to block the sun out. This is not a conspiracy. We know that now. All right. That's one thing they fear, but they tell us global warming. They'll give you a reason to fear something, but that's not going to be exactly what it is. But it's still something that they fear. It's something that they fear. Plus, they use us to manifest. They manifest through us, right? Because with them doing stuff a certain way, in the way that they do stuff, in such a, what some may call a negative way, all these rituals, sacrifices, and all this stuff they do in the background, you know what I'm saying? They not really able to manifest like we can, right? But like how they got y'all to fear God, right? Like I said, the story of the Anunnaki ain't really wrong, and y'all's ain't really wrong necessarily. Ain't nobody really wrong. It's just, you know, we all figuring it out. Well, they manipulating us. Now I'm like, okay, it's me saying that, I'm like, God and the devil is the same being to them. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's still the same. They're of the same beings. Some of y'all, you know, angels, fallen angels, still angels. They're not demons. They didn't fall to become demons. That book y'all read tell y'all that, right? Now, that's stuff that they fear though. And you see the weird ways that they worship. We see the what y'all call demonic, you know what I'm saying, like culture creeping into, you know, Hollywood, creeping into religion, creeping into all that, you know, the Pope, he on weird stuff, you know, all of this stuff, right? Like I said, they're in every facet, every single facet of life, all these industries, organizations, institutions, right? Now, I'm like, with this whole projecting fear, it's nothing that they tell you to fear you don't have to worry about. That's stuff that they worried about. They live in a whole different world. Like the whole, you know, us running out of resources and all, that's something else they be having y'all trying to fear. We running out of land, resources. That's not true at all. They just fear not having control of all that because they really don't run anything. Trickology is their best. It's magic. Trickology, that's what I call it, right? Because it's the way they do stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is just energy that you gotta like, you know, stuff to pay attention to, yeah. Because, you know, you gotta figure out what they doing. But I'm like, you don't have nothing to fear. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go through stuff. That's normal. Nothing was wrong yesterday. You find something out today and stuff, and you letting it mess with your whole world. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shit, wasn't nothing wrong yesterday, ain't nothing wrong today. It's your mindset. You know what I'm saying? And they implementing a lot right now because, like I said, this is the year of completion, right? So a lot of stuff is about to start, and they're going to implement a lot of stuff next year. It's going to seem like stuff is getting worse, too. All right. It will. But we're close to like a better time. The main thing that will hurt people is the way y'all react to stuff. Look how everybody reacted to COVID. What you niggas buying toilet paper for? Like fucking stores running out of toilet paper. I feel like that was a motherfucking psyop or some shit. Look at these niggas. Bro, niggas can't buy toilet paper because motherfuckers got motherfucking the money in the garage space to have. These niggas got a whole wall of toilet paper. Still using that shit. What the fuck would you even worry about? Anyway, I do think that the grid might go down. That might happen. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, that won't last for more than a week, 2 weeks at the longest. But that'll still be something. Y'all will go crazy. Just get some food, my nigga. Get some canned goods, whatever. Because what they trying to do is usher us into a new system. They keep talking about a new world order and the end of the world. The end of the world ain't what, it's the end of their world. Because they know what I'm speaking of. The year of completion, cycles. That move through all of us. This whole universe, this whole everything, right? Can nobody avoid that? So a lot of stuff will start next year, right? A lot of stuff will be implemented, you know. But I'm like, don't let it mess with your mindset. Don't let it break you. You know what I'm saying? It'll be all right. We're moving into different times right now. And all they're trying to do is control the dynamic of it. So when I say, like, I don't think the grid, if it do go down, it won't be for more than a week or two. In my opinion, I don't know anything for sure in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, they're just, when they do this type of stuff, it's not like, you got to think deeper into stuff. It's not them trying to mess with you and them just being evil. They do stuff for a reason, right? That does nothing for them to have the grid down that long. And they do certain stuff to cause disorder as well. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, they mess with us, but it's always an agenda behind it. All that uncertainty and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You just got to pay attention. Just got to pay attention. Stay prayed up. Be good with yourself. You know, in your household, family, kids, and all that. Whatever you raising. But I want to speak of, like, this energy, right? It's just energy, you know what I'm saying? That we're letting manipulate us. It's feelings, it's energy, right? Now I'm like, okay, I wanted to speak on, like, you know, lower vibrations or high vibrations, because I was like, these beings, right, that I spoke of, well, I'm like, all right, no being is necessarily just created evil. Not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? There's still free will. We all roped into stuff. You know what I'm saying? We all have a certain nature about us as beings. You know what I'm saying? When we talking about, like, low vibrational and high vibrational beings and stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean evil and good. It doesn't necessarily mean bad, negative, righteous, godly. You know? I'm like, I've interacted with different spirits, some beings I've heard y'all speak of and describe that y'all call demons, right? The shadow figures and stuff. I've seen a light being. It's the same thing pretty much. It's just a silhouette. It ain't really no features. It's just, you know, that humanoid body that a lot of us beings have throughout the universe, right? But just like a glow. And on the other side, just like a very dense and very, like, dark, voidish shadow figure. Right? I've seen a couple of those. Actually have came, like, to me, right? And what I had realized, I'm like, I've seen spirits as well. A lot of these spirits, they use these portals, like the mirrors and stuff. I've always seen them, the spirits will leave through the mirror. But I'm like, okay, the dark beings, which is still light. It's still light. You know what I'm saying? If you know what light is, I'm not about to get scientific. It's still light. These are light beings. They're just a different aspect, right? They're just darker. You know what I'm saying? Darkness retains more light. It absorbs more light. Everything is light. I'm not about to get too scientific on it. You can explain it scientifically. I'm not about to get all esoteric on y'all. But they disappear right where they stand. They don't have to use mirrors. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these so-called fallen angels and all of this stuff that y'all be talking about, these beings aren't low vibrational. You know what I'm saying? They more vibrational than you. You meditate every day and you tapped in with your spirits and with God and all that stuff. So being low vibrational and being high vibrational is not the same thing as saying being negative and good. And I'm not even saying that these beings are necessarily negative or good. They're doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I hop online, I hear people about their paranormal stories, and the way that y'all describe the darker ones, you know, that I'm explaining, all of them as being light beings, but you know, the ones that y'all label demons, y'all talk about, it's the way that y'all express yourself that make it. But I'm listening from my experiences and from what I'm hearing, they never even try to harm y'all just see them there, right? I don't know what they doing. I don't know what their intentions are necessarily. Ooh, they messing with my throat right now. Something or somebody. These spirits, right? Excuse me. I'm not calling any of these beings evil, bad, or righteous or good. I'm not saying they here to collab with your ass, right? I'm just saying, though, from a perspective, I don't fear any of this stuff. I've been through plenty of experiences, but there's plenty of people that have been through and seen way more than me and stuff. I'm saying all of this to say, you don't have to worry about anything, really. You just got to be good within yourself. Be good within yourself. Be good. You know what I'm saying? Just be good within yourself, right? I love myself. I've done things. We all do things and stuff. That's a part of living. That's a part of being in this human experience. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand that nothing is necessarily out there to attack you as a human or person. Most of these beings I'm talking about don't really give a fuck about y'all, for real. I'm just saying, like, outside of like y'all personal, maybe y'all work with ancestors, angels, you know, and y'all and deities, y'all in your relationship with God, whatever. Everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? But there's so much going on in the universe. There's beings everywhere. There's little microscopic beings. There's beings in your body. There's beings everywhere living this kind of like similar lifestyle, right? Even germs and all that stuff, when y'all put stuff under the microscope, and you see them go to war, you see them go to work, you see them react, you see them fight, you see them go to, you know, you see them reproduce, right? We just need to gain a broader perspective on what's going on, but first you need to like settle your mind. You know, I ain't meditated in a while, to be honest, but meditate. I tapped into some dope stuff, meditating. But I'm just here. I want to project love and light and positivity and stuff, right? You know, so I love y'all, right? You know. Because I know everybody going through some stuff, right now, especially. It's a lot going on, but we live in dope times. If you really grasp the truth of what's really going on, you know what I'm saying? And you will see how they're really being very reactive. These so-called elites, they're being so reactive to what's going on the planet and Mother Nature. Some of this is them doing stuff and creating stuff like these storms and all this stuff. They trying to build these smart cities and all that. They trying to beat the curve that they know they're not gonna beat, but they need to get in place as much as they can. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of this stuff is just the planet. It's getting right, you know. A lot of BS has been going on, and we all know that at this time, you know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to really talk about, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, don't disrespect low vibrational stuff that you think is low vibrational, or you see people going through stuff or any of that. Like, and when I say don't disrespect, I mean like don't come from a perspective that that's beneath you or anything, because we all, the same energies are working through all of us, right? It's just how you utilize them. That's not necessarily making something evil. Got a nap. Fucking with me. I think there's like some spirit shit going on, right? They call it monitoring spirits or some shit. Messing with my throat. But yeah, man. Y'all be good. You know what I'm saying? Feel good. We live in some dope times and we got dope times to come. You know, we just gotta get through this, you know what I'm saying? Birthing pains. That's what they call it, right? Yeah. Cause a lot of stuff is about to be birthed. This is the best time for an individual, a company, a business, a family name, a group, anything to become a superpower going into this new world. All right. So, you know, if that's something that you aspire for, you know what I'm saying, do that. But, you know, feel good, you know, spread love. I try, you know what I'm saying? I try to, you know, you know, interact, be polite, all of that. But much love. That's all I wanted to talk about.